to think about if you want to go into the legal field. So just to start my presentation, I'll tell you a little bit about intellectual property, the different types of intellectual property, and how that's helpful in today's commercial world. So, as I said, I'll go over an overview of intellectual property law and the philosophical perspective for intellectual property theory. Just to give a disclaimer, I haven't studied the intellectual property law of India, but I'm writing a paper about it, and it's not that different because since India adopted the TRIPS, that's an international consortium, India has had to do everything according to the international laws, which is what the US also follows. So it's not very different from the US laws. So there are 4 different types of intellectual property rights that you can have. First is trade secrets, second is patents, third copyrights, and finally trademarks. I'll go over them briefly and then go into how they're important in today's world. So, if you think about the 1800s, that's when people started thinking about patenting their inventions, like the Edison's bulb, and I think Edison has the maximum number of patents in his name, and that's when, hello?
Yeah, you're right actually. We are able to hear you.
Okay, so if you have any questions, just stop me and ask. So Edison has the maximum number of patents in his name till now. He was the one who patented bulb and a lot of different things. And that's when actually, to be precise, the first patent laws were drafted in Venice, and I think it was Galileo who was granted the first patent rights for his inventions. But since then, Europe and the rest of US also started thinking seriously about IP laws. That's because you want to reward the scientist for his inventions and the artists for their music. If you don't have these laws, anyone can copy your invention, your music, your art, and make profit. And if there are cheap copies available, like you see in India about movies and everything, there's no incentive to develop new things.
So, like, are these movies protected in America? I mean, are you not able to download these movies from sitting in America?
Well, it's a little bit different than India. India, people don't have the fear. Here, at least, there are cases where people have been prosecuted for downloading. It's a little difficult to catch people doing it, but if you're caught, then yes, it's a heavy penalty, and you've heard like students have declared bankruptcy to get out of the legal costs of it.
But I was actually wondering, like in India, like if Microsoft is giving a licensed copy of its Windows, let's take it as an example, that is actually coming for around 10,000 rupees in India. So for somebody who's in our country, who's actually paid in rupees, if the similar cost is actually asked by an American to be paid by him in dollar, it would be actually convenient for an American to pay in dollar, but for an Indian in rupee, it gets too high. So is it actually justified that the companies directly convert their price into rupees and then they actually float their products in the market, and they expect that countries like India, which are having, which are known as the third world nations, can they actually expect them not to?
Well, the companies are private companies. They're in there to make money. They're not thinking about a third world country. They're just looking at the demand. And there are enough people in India who are paying 10,000 rupees to buy the same software. So unless the demand goes down and they think that they're not making money in India, they might think of reducing the cost then. But there are people like, suppose Infosys and big companies who are actually installing the original software. So that's where they make the money. They don't care about a few people who sell the copied software.
Okay.
But that's a different issue than patents. That's more about anti-competition and ITC laws.
Yeah.
But they're all very interrelated. I'll get to it actually.
Okay.
Let me to the second slide.
Sure.
So after the 1800s, in the 20th century, we can see Coca-Cola. So I'm going to use this to explain different types of IP and how it has helped Coca-Cola build a brand image. So the first intellectual property I talked about was trade secret. So I think everyone must have heard that Coca-Cola is a big secret formula which they keep in a locker and only a few people have access to it. So that's one kind of IP. In trade secrets, you just keep your formula or your recipe and keep it a secret. You don't let anyone know about it. But the downsides of having a trade secret is you have to spend a lot of money trying to keep it a secret. If it's a big company like Coca-Cola, they can't give access to everyone, so they have to compartmentalize the access. Some people will know something and other people will know something. They have to do background checks, they have to have high security measures. But the upside for having a trade secret is, so patents are granted only for a limited amount of time, whereas if you can keep a trade secret a secret, it can go on forever, like hundreds of years. Everyone uses Listerine. Do you know that it's a trade secret and it's been around since the 1800s? And I think it's now that people have reverse engineered it, that is, they've taken